Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be breaking down a new case. This is the Thermaltake Level 20 MT Argb. We're going to be doing a full unboxing and then I'm actually going to be building a new system inside of it. Now the value that I paid for this case feels ridiculous in a good way, but I'm going to hold back until I actually build inside to tell you my final thoughts. Now what we're going to be putting inside this system is going to be the 3rd generation Ryzen. It's a 3700X CPU and we will be using the stock CPU cooler that comes with it. It will be on a X570 Asus Tough motherboard. We have 16 gigs of DDR4 Trident Z Neo RAM that's running at 3600. For the SSD, we have an M.2 NVMe MP600 Corsair stick, and it is also PCI Express 4, and rounding it out is the GPU, which is also the Asus Tough 5700 XT. So that's what's going inside. Let's crack this bad boy open and see what it comes with.
I did you all a favor and actually sped this part up because I really struggled with actually getting this out of the box, and once you open it you can't do a retake. So yeah, at least you know that if you order it, it's gonna come nice and snug from the manufacturer, but it's now out. So obviously looking at the front, you have 3 pre-installed Argb fans. Kind of has these silver rails, and then that's where your air vents on the left and right. The side where your wire management's going to be, you've got a little air vent too, and if you wanted to, you can mount a radiator. Fairly standard back, and another fan in the back. Then you've got your tempered glass side, and you've got your kind of standard front ports. Now again, this is more of a mid-range, lower-end case. It doesn't have a USB-C on the top. But all in all, the case feels very solid, and again, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you what I paid for this case, which is, in my opinion, an absolute steal. So let me get my gear, and I will open it up for you and let you see what it looks like on the inside. The bottom screw, I couldn't hand torque it off, so I had to use my little toolkit. Alright, side off, and there is the inside. Again, the case looks clean. Has a PSU shroud with a little opening so you can see what the power supply looks like. Has all the pre-wiring for the front ports. Dust filter on the top. I mean, fairly standard mid-tower case. Not a lot of bells and whistles, but also you're not paying the price tag of those other cases. Now let me quickly go through the components going in. You've got the 5700 XT. X570 Tough motherboard, Trident Z Neo RAM, MP600 SSD, 3700X Ryzen, stock CPU cooler, and then the 850 watt power supply.
Alright, let's start plugging some things into this motherboard, starting with the RAM. This is the G-Skill Trident Z Neo, and for Asus motherboards they use the DIMM slot A2 and B2 if you're only using 2 sticks. Get in there. Okay, RAM installed. Next, we're just doing all the easy stuff. The M.2. Looks good. Okay. SSD and RAM installed. Now we are going to work on the CPU. Snug. CPU installed. CPU cooler. Thermal paste, pea size. I like using my own thermal paste. All right. Both clips in. CPU cooler attached. So just like that, SSD, RAM, CPU cooler, done.
Now it's time to actually throw it inside the case. So again, I'm going to speed up these parts because you don't need to see me put in all 8 screws at real time. So what I'm doing is just making sure that the motherboard is secure and snug. Now when you want to install these screws, you don't want to screw them in too tight because it can make the motherboard flex, but you also want to make sure that it's secure. It's in, feels good. Now it's time to actually install the GPU. Again, this is the ASUS TUF 5700 XT. It's got like a little RGB addressable line on the top of it, trying to make sure everything matches up. This is a huge GPU.
All right, everybody, we are at the home stretch of building this computer. I've now got all the front ports plugged in on the motherboard. Again, the GPU, the M.2, the RAM, everything, the CPU cooler all in. All I have left is to power this. Now for this computer, I'm using an 850 watt gold rated EVGA silent power supply. It is for sure overkill for this computer, but I was able to get one brand new for $100. So I'm gonna put that in now. The computer is now complete. Let's power it on and talk about how that build went.
Such a gratifying feeling being someone that has built multiple computers. When you push that power button for the first time, all the lights that are supposed to be on turn on, all the fans that are supposed to be spinning are spinning, and the computer boots right up into the BIOS. Case looks good, very clean. Again, no problems on the first power. That's the little RGB strip on the ASUS 5700 XT. I think it looks pretty good.
Another build in the books. Final thoughts on the Thermaltake Level 20 MT Argb case. Now, building in this case, I had no problem with room, even though it was a mid-tower ATX case. I mean, there was nothing too large that we put inside other than the GPU, and there was no problems with that. Under fit and finish, there was only one situation that I ran into when I was building this computer, and that was removing the 3.5-inch drive bays under the PSU shroud. One of the screws was stripped, and I basically had to almost cut it / pry it out of the system in order to remove those drive bays. So, in that situation, it kind of sucked, but I mean, it didn't really hold me up too long. Now, the actual case itself, this is what I paid for it on Micro Center's website. So through their web store, because a lot of stuff you can't buy on their web store, you have to buy it in person, but this case was available. I got it for $79.99. $80 for this case. And there was very certain specifications we were looking for, because when I was building this system for my buddy, he wanted to go more budget. It had a PSU shroud, it had tempered glass, and it had adjustable Argb fans, which this has all 3 of those for under $80. Now again, this is more of a lower end case. You're not going to get the most amazing airflow. It's not big, like all the vertical GPU stuff, all those bells and whistles, no. But if you're doing a basic setup, which this kind of is, I mean, this case is almost perfect, and for 80 bucks. Now you just saw me put the whole thing together. This entire system combined cost me under $1,200, and it will run almost any game at 1440p at max settings. The price that you would pay to build this computer compared to going in the store, it's literally not even close, and you're gonna get way better components. If you're interested in any of those parts, I will link them in the description below so you can check it out. Overall thoughts? It's a great buy. Had almost no problems. It is a great buy for $80. All right, everybody, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed the build. I think it turned out really, really well. It looks really clean. If you have any suggestions or if you have any questions, please leave that in the comment section below. If you have not joined the official Action RPG Discord, please do so. Great conversations every day. We now have over 180 members. The idea is to have a gaming community that could jump from game to game together, so you never start the server by yourself. That's it. Stay home, stay safe. Do not forget to join the official Action RPG Discord. Aaron, out.